What's going on, Raider Nation? Yes, this was probably one of the more stressful wins. I mean, I think every win's been stressful. But the Raiders made just, and I mean just, enough plays this game to win. I'm still, I mean, sure, I'm happy and whatnot that we survived and our season's not over, but it's one of those games that you're stressed and you're yelling more and pissed off because of how many mistakes there were. Way too many mistakes this game. Let me just go over. First of all, the negatives. Penalties speak for themselves. I think some of the calls were bad. Some of the no calls were bad. I think Dwayne Bowe got away with a pass interference on offense. That push off. Just that was just me. Thought he got away with that, but there was several penalties on us. Lamar Houston lost composure. There was holdings. I think there was some offsides. There was that delay of game. Of course, that big delay of game that would have scored the touchdown off the fake field goal. That would have been a sick fake that Hugh Jackson came up with. But we didn't snap the ball in time. So many penalties. And yeah, it's a penalty fest. We didn't get the record. I thought we'd get the record in most penalties, but did not. So yeah, big negative there. The other negative was maybe it was just partially Carson Palmer, how streaky he is. If you're a stat guru, he did not put up the stats you were hoping for today. He was throwing some interceptions. Some of it was also this mainly goes on the offensive line for not enough the pressure. The Chiefs' front seven got better. They've been competitive at least, and their stats are a little deceiving. So the offensive line did not exactly block, and it made Palmer throw a couple picks. Some of his completions, he was forcing the ball. Sometimes he doesn't throwing it away. He'd hold on to the ball too long. So little light negative there. But on to the positives. Probably the biggest positive is defense in the clutch. And of course, when I say the clutch, of course, the big plays. With the exception of that one drive at the end of regulation, they were for the most part clutch. They blocked that field goal at the end of the half, and then they blocked that one in the fourth quarter. They also got some big stops. I think there was that fourth and short that was inside the Chiefs' own territory. We stopped them then. We kept them out of the end zone when they were in the red zone. Major positive there. So once again, defense in the clutch. That was pretty much, there was a lot of clutch moments, not great moments overall, but when it counted, they made the plays they needed to. And Richard Seymour blocked the kick. I think it was a low kick by Suckup, but I don't know. I haven't seen the tape, the replay tape at least. The other positive, of course, is the big plays on offense. And it was just a few big plays here and there. First of all, that special teams play by Brian McCann. Great kick return. Wish we got it in the end zone. But yeah, the big play there that set up a field goal. Got a decent, okay drive to set up a field goal. Of course, there was that big touchdown. It costed them a timeout, but that was the most valuable timeout of the season because it turned out to be a nice play action to Denarius Moore. Great touchdown there. And then, of course, the big play that sets up the field goal. Darius Heyward-Bey just go up for the vertical game. A classic Al Davis kind of play or game because it's the vertical pass. And, to the haters who hate Heyward-Bey, you couldn't say anything about him this game. Yeah, he didn't have any touchdowns, but he came up with the game-winning catch that set up the field goal. So, big positive there. The big plays, and it mattered. Still, this was a stressful game to watch, and those of you who watched from beginning to end, you know what I'm talking about. That first half, sloppy game, and I think the Chiefs were sloppier. We're just kind of lucky this game. Another one of those lucky close fluke wins, if you want to call it that. Their defense held us in crunch time, but some of those big plays they gave up 2 or 3 big mistakes, and it costed the Chiefs. It wasn't pretty. It's kind of like how Christmas is. Sometimes, we get gifts and we don't like them or we think it's useless. Well, they say it's the thought that counts that someone gave you something. And in this case, the Raiders gave us a gift, or the Chiefs gave us a gift. And we may not have liked how the result happened, but it still is a gift, and it's the result, that counts, just like the thought that counts with a gift. Very, very ironic day. I know the Broncos lost to the Bills, but I think they have a tiebreaker. We have to root for the Chiefs next week, but I don't see it happening. I was happy the Broncos were losing, but this game was so stressful. Very stressful. Whether it was not getting drives, whether it was not committing stupid penalties, whether it was some annoying calls. I think Stanford Ralph, they were really docking him. If it was Darrelle Revis, they wouldn't have called it, but they were really on Stanford Ralph way too much this game. He wasn't as bad as people give him for. Bresnahan still doing the vanilla defense in the clutch. That screen, you know what I'm talking about. That screen was annoying, but the blocked kicks and the game ball goes to those blocked kicks with the and as well as the of course Heyward-Bey getting the ball when we needed to in the clutch. Just enough gas in the tank, barely. And the main thing that I was looking for was our season to not end today on Christmas Eve, and it did not end. It will not end, even if some other teams win or lose. It will end on week 17, mathematically and whatnot. So we have that puncher's chance. I think we have to root for the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are going to tank it. They hate the Raiders more than the Broncos. I can guarantee that. And before the game, I said I wasn't impressed with the Chiefs. I wasn't, and they made almost just as many mistakes as the Raiders. So I was pretty much right on that. Raiders let themselves penalties get to them and played down to their level. But in overtime, I think we know what happened in overtime. It's pretty straight to the point. Raiders were the better team this game. It wasn't pretty, but we made less mistakes than the Chiefs. And I'll take it. So, Merry Christmas to you guys and everyone watching. Also, a Happy Hanukkah for those of you celebrating. I think it's this week. And those of you celebrating Kwanzaa on Monday. Hope the holidays goes well. For me, it's Christmas, so I can enjoy Christmas. The Sharks won in a shootout. Scary game against the Kings, and the Raiders win an overtime game as well. Stressful, but it's a win, and it's the result that counts, just like the thought that counts for a gift. So, see you guys later, and go Raiders.